Howdy howlers, it's Sako Toomey, also known as Cass White. I write horror, and I'm a witch, and I'm a graphic designer, and sometimes I combine those three things. Today, I am pulling the witch card, backwoods witchcraft, Appalachian conjure. I shall wait for people to show before I start reading. You probably hear my father in the background doing gonga. Oh my gosh, you made it. You made it. I guess the neighbor is doing his yard. Yes. How are you doing this morning, darling? How is you? Actually awake for a change. It's Wednesday. Also, hi, Christina. All kinds of neighborhood sounds and house sounds and things. I could wear a headset, but I choose not to. Hi, Debbie. How's it going, hun? You arting today? I should probably try and at least sort of try to do some art today. But I'm mostly working on the book with BC. Project Flambeau. Project Flambeau. I'm not yawning. You're yawning. Your mom's yawning. Mom's yawning. Your face is yawning. Sorry, playing with the cord. So Caro Brown has invited me to do this Instagram meme thing, daily challenge thing for writing, and I think I'm gonna give it a shot, even though it doesn't match my aesthetic for my Insta at all. I wonder if I should make a Cass Voigt Insta and just write her the hell out of it. Curate it, as it were. Because my Psycho Sako one is very art oriented. And I'm hesitant to do writer stuff on my things. Bailey keeps saying, say, and now I have maps by the yeah stuck in my head. I understand that. Can't breathe through my nose, yay allergies. So there's a whole lot of yawning there too, yeah. Yeah, just popped both my ears. It was super weird. So we did not make it all the way through communing with the dead yesterday. We made it a good portion in. Oh, yeah, we're almost done with it. Bloodborne Chains. Yeah, that's where we left off. Because that's what spurred the whole karma thing. Switch between profiles now, so it's a good time to have more than one. Maybe I'll do that today. And, like, buffer up some posts and... Yes. I think I have a paid account for Buffer. I have to look. Because if that's the case, I'll just do all 30 posts, like, straight ahead of time. And I don't know if I'm going to do my Anchor Series whip or my Flambeau whip. My Flambeau whip. Our Flambeau whip. There's something sharp in this blanket. I cannot get it out, but it is sharp. So I will make an author Insta, and with Angela Ann's advice, I'll keep that rolling. She says she only takes like a weekend per year to do things, or per 6 months or something like that, to do like photo shoots and text things, motivational speak. She said to have 3 kinds of content. So I guess I would have motivational content and tips, probably tips, and then like photos, and I'll probably do tips and the obligatory photos of me writing and stuff, and any art that I might make that pertains to my books. I know I respond better to people who are authentic rather than walking billboards, so I try to emulate that on my own Insta, yeah. Facebook, though, that's all work. Can't be arsed. Yeah. It's taken me a long-ass time to curate my Facebook in such a way that, like, people will buy my art. It's a long time coming. It's a lot of work. It is. But if you're going to do Facebook, go all in. Like, pages don't do anything, groups work, but you gotta pay attention. Like, all my Cass Voight stuff is like floundering because I don't spend enough time with it. Excuse me. So if you are on Insta, I say stick with Insta. If you are on Facebook, I say stick with Facebook. Is there a black mold? Currently, I use Instagram to message people. At least and I post art, but like I am thinking I might go ahead and make that Cass Voight thing. So I'll do this 30-day challenge just to kind of like break the ice, and then like 3 times a week or something like that I'll post. Or do I have to post every day? I don't know. Facebook is the kind of thing you probably want to post every day. Probably. Hi, Al. Happy hollow ho. All them pumpkins. All them pumpkins. Instagram, my YouTube channel are truly only social meads that provide any kind of return, whether in camaraderie or new readers. Yeah. It's whatever you put the most energy into, right? So if you use Insta to communicate and to engage with people, then stick with Insta. Like whichever avenue that you use for yourself, like it's just so much easier to, yeah, you get it. On my Instagram, I post everything writing in my life. Happy hollow ho ho, speaking for us all.
I wish the nasty virus would disappear. Ooh.
Yeah, that's how Brett's here about it.
Human first, writer second. I'm human first, artist second on Facebook. On Insta, I'm an artist first, human second. Actually, artist first, photographer second. Because I did that 365 thing. This did not load. I got a message and I need to view the message. I think it's the Halloween event. No, it's called the Ruins of President's Park. Ooh. Can't go, but... Oh, it's November 22nd. 7th. Interested. You gotta see this. This is super cool. You gotta see this. Come on, share screen. Isn't that crazy? It's like nuts to me. I had no idea. I had no idea. So apparently there's going to be an outing. But, I mean, I'm still social distancing and stuff, so I don't know. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's start about the karma stuff that we were talking about. I mentioned earlier the practice of washing away the sins of the blood in regards to our ancestors' acts of slavery, war, rape, etc. Among the sins are the traumas they went through that have spiraled down in the family, such as alcoholism, suicide, divorce, abuse, and gambling addiction. We have a duty to them because it is in their stories that ours begin. Their stories may have been in suffering, poverty, and sin, but through us they can end with healing, stability, and salvation. We can break the blood-borne chains that kept them down and that have the power to take us down as well unless we act. There's a very strong belief in generational chains and curses in Appalachia, but the majority have nothing to do with witchcraft, but rather with the mind and spirit. Many of us have battled depression and suicidal thoughts. A handful of my ancestors have committed suicide. In my own life, I broke that chain early in my commitment to live. I stopped self-harming, stopped dwelling on that part of my family history, and started enjoying life. Hey, I'd watch it. Figure it out in your own blood. What secrets, troubles, or sins lurk within your family tree? Talk to your elders. Back in the day, some things weren't spoken of. Families would literally cut themselves off from a relative because of something they wouldn't speak of for years. Sometimes that silence between folks lasted to the grave, and I'm sure it still happens all too often. Folks have offered differing meditations for this kind of work, but I couldn't find good soil in them. If you think you can, then I suggest you look into it further. As this writing is of my own family practices and experiences, I can only offer this. Pay attention to the family's stories, to your dreams, and to your own behavior. Commitment to live is such a strong statement when you really stop long enough to consider it. Absolutely, I agree. The bad root under it all will show itself in time. Maybe there are hints lingering in childhood memories. Maybe it's something you'd rather not speak about. Take it to the ancestors. They already know, and they're willing to help. Oftentimes, these sins that live on are the things holding them here and keeping them from peace. Our ancestors protect us and comfort us from the other side. They can be part of your life to both celebrate and to cry with. Listen to them with your whole heart. During your daily life, pray to them. There's not a day that goes by that I do not love and honor the makers of the footprints on my path. They have made the way with their sweat and tears, which has made our families considerably easier. We owe them our memory and our love and respect. In return, they are our biggest comfort and our strongest shield. I've heard folks who have had bad dealings with some of their dead, and it's always due to that bad root in the blood. Know this: you don't have to call up a person you had a contentious relationship with if you're not ready. In your prayers, tell your ancestors you do not wish for Jane Doe to be present because of certain reasons. The spirits will understand this and will not push you further unless conciliation is needed. All right. Best of luck to you. Get some good bread. Nom, nom, nom. Often these are the dead that will come to you in dreams, smells, memories, and more. This is them wishing to connect with you, to often make amends and more. You are not obligated to concede, but you do need to acknowledge them and forgive. The primary thing that holds the dead back is unfinished business, cliche as it may sound. This needs to be mentioned. Being dead doesn't make a person a saint, suddenly enlightened, or better than they were. The dead come back to us as they were in life, and they will exemplify this when you work with them. If they were mean and hateful in life, they'll be the same in death. If they were kind and gentle, they'll be the same. Bad branches of the family tree can still have a negative effect on you and the fruit you try to grow. It is important to know that spirits you're calling up, even among your ancestors, it's important to know the spirits you're calling up, even among the ancestors. When tending to their altar or going to them for something, I always knock on the table 3 times, because manners, and ask them to show in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. By that name, no evil or darkness may approach. Hi, turtle. Hold on, I need a sip of coffee. Can you guys hear him? I'm trying to keep it down, but such is the life. Yes, coffee. A little bit. Okay. Hi, Spence. How's it going, lovelies? Yes, you could. Do the thing. Do the thing. Get some of that coffee. That was a big gulp. I think I'm going to take you guys outside just so I'm not bothering my dad. Glad to see you here. Maybe I can hang out here. Just so I don't bother my dad. Oh, it's a great background. Maybe something with a better background. Glad to see you. I'm just trying to figure out where I can do this. I kind of want a cigarette. Florida weather. It's already warm. I can only imagine how much warmer it's going to get. Okay. This is not a better background. However, it is less, I am less likely to bother my father if I just hang out here. Too cold. No, it's quite warm. I have a little bit of water damage on this book. Oh. Hi, Sage. One of these days we'll hang out again. Tonight, maybe. Yeah, I hold my dad in high regard. My dad and I are very close. Okay. You may also want to clean the altar once in a while with a wash of vinegar, whiskey, and church dust. This is the root of your family tree, and your shrine is the garden where it is planted. Nourish that tree, but at the same time, focus on finding the bad root that has plagued it. Your life will be better for acknowledging it and for doing the work to heal it, and your ancestors will be at peace knowing their blood and sins are on the mend, and they can rest. Omens. Signs and omens. Clicking fur. It was that wild medicine, the health of the crops in the field, and the wisdom handed down from generations that decided the survival and prosperity of the little mountain communities. An early frost, a bad blight, or a planting during the wrong sign could endanger the entire forest. Harvest. So certain measures were devised to prevent misfortunes of this type. How does one gather this without bursting into flames? Yeah, no kidding, right? I don't know what church dust implies. Because last I knew, they kept it pretty goddamn clean. Sanctified dust. I don't know. Church dust. Churches make me uncomfortable, but I won't go into why that is. It's better than it was, but it's still pretty bad. All right. Omens and lore surround the act of planting, growing, caretaking, and harvesting mainly for the purpose of life and health. The major belief in omens and signs comes from the Bible. Ecclesiastes 3, 1-2. Let there be lights in the firmaments of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years.
Ah.
Hi, Papa.
Hi, sweetie. You're my sweetie. You're my sweetie. You're my sweetie. Are you streaming?
I am.
Okay.
Would you like to talk about Buddhist shit while we're on the air?
What kind of Buddhist stuff would you like me to talk about?
I don't know. Like the concept of the 3,000 worlds, maybe?
So, fundamentally, 10 worlds. What are the 10 worlds? Hell, hunger, anger,
Because there are...
So, Ashoka is like... That's anger in an interesting sense, because that's a demon that was like originally a demon that was what do you call it? Beneficial, right? And then it turned
sour.
Yeah, and then it kind of turned into something else. So it's kind of like that friend of yours that is like your best friend in the world and stuff like that, and then you find out like he's just been totally backbiting you and stabbing you in the back and stuff like that.
Sure. So
it's someone who appears to be really, really great, but they're not, right?
Okay.
And then humanity is like normal human beings, and then let's see.
There's like one
heaven.
More, well, there's one more like neutral one, and then there's the three heavens.
Heaven. Then let's see. Learning in terms of the spoken word or enlightenment in terms of the spoken word, enlightenment in terms of learning the ultimate truth from other people, and then there's self-realization of the ultimate truth, right? And then there's the world of Bodhisattva, and then there's enlightenment. So in each of these 10 worlds, each of the other worlds exist within themselves, right? So that 10 becomes 1,000. So, and then you have the three aspects, which is past, present, and future, right? And then that 1,000 becomes 3,000. So that's how you get to that formula, which is 3,000 realms in a single moment of life. Make sense?
It does. I am kind of interested in the concept of the SGI's use of bodhisattvas of the earth. So are they like trying to coax people into being in that world, to being in that... Ooh, watch out.
Where?
It went out. But
okay.
You had an ember fall on the dirt.
Yeah, I do that all the time. I'm burning up.
We need to gather from catacombs. Oh. Yeah, that's super weird. So there is a thing about making shrines to your ancestors, right? In this book that we were just talking about.
Uh-huh.
And one of the ingredients for cleaning the altar is to possibly use church dust. And I'm like, and we're all like, that's like the swimming pool on the roof sort of situation, right? So, how are we supposed to acquire church dust?
Well, I'm not aware of the practice of using church dust to clean altars for your ancestors. Plus, I don't make altars for my ancestors other than putting pictures of grandma and grandpa, like in the Butsudan, right?
Yeah.
That's about
that
or near the Butsudan. Right?
That counts.
And the reason I do that is not for an altar for them; it's just to remind me to chant for them, while I'm chanting.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think fundamentally the approach to Buddhism and the approach to Buddhist practice should be common sense, and if it defies common sense, then you should really think about why you're doing it.
Indeed.
Right. It's kind of like the whole thing about well, if the house is burning down. And, the Gohonzon is in the house, and you have a choice between, rescuing your granddaughter or your child or whatever, and the Gohonzon, I'm sorry, the Gohonzon's going to burn, right? You Yeah, I mean, life is sacred, right? The
Life.
Gohon Zone, yeah, I mean, you know,
It's a
what's
piece of
on it
paper.
is sacred, most definitely. It represents something that's sacred, however, comma, right? It's a piece of paper, right?
We're
You
all
boil down
Buddha-
to it, it's a piece of paper.
It's a piece of
right?
paper when
Yeah.
it all boils down to
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
It's kind of hard to get and all of that stuff, but dude, it's a piece of paper.
Yeah.
It's like the cross or, you know, things that are, you know, symbolic are great, but they're symbolic and they're part of the Saha world, right? Part of the, you know, temporary existence that is the world.
Right. Interesting.
That makes sense?
Yes.
That makes sense?
Well, it does to me. I don't know about you guys. What's up with you guys?
So,
does Bodhisattva imply,
Bodhisattvas of the earth, yeah.
so does that imply that we are students of the Buddha, like a direct line to Buddhahood? Bodhisattvas of the earth? I don't know. I think my definition of bodhisattva is differing from the SGI definition.
We're all Buddhas, right?
We're all right, exactly.
And we're all bodhisattvas of the earth, right? And the reason we're bodhisattvas of the earth is basically in the infinite past we made a vow, right, that we would take care of this place.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we continually come back to this place, right? You know, as wardens of this place. That's my interpretation, right, of the core of Bodhisattvas. But it goes deeper than that. You know, there's the concept of the vow, you know, which is the vow for Kosen Rufu, you know, to do world peace,
Mm-hmm.
right? But it's more than just world peace.
It is Kosen Rufu is kind of the idea that there's actually a lot to it. It is the idea that if everyone in the world is Buddhist, we'll have world peace.
No.
But
No.
depending on what you're reading, that is how they define it.
Yeah, people will define it that way, sure, right? However, it's more along the lines that
So you make
one person, right, can, you know, change the nature of that person's environment.
absolutely.
Right? So the vow is to live your life in such a fashion that you know, create ultimate value, right, for those that are directly associated with you and those that are around you. You know, so you know, basically trying to live an altruistic life in such a fashion, you know, that you are a capable person, right, and you create capable people around you.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and those capable people also live altruistically.
Right.
And if enough people do that, right, we'll have world peace.
We'll have world peace.
So the movement is, you know, to create an altruistic family, an altruistic community, an altruistic government, an altruistic country, an altruistic world. That's what Sensei is all about. That's what.
Right. He's not about making everybody in the world Buddhist.
Or making everybody like Sensei.
Or
however,
making
he's
everybody
got
like
really,
Sensei, yeah.
However, he's, you know, got, you know, hundreds of books that he's written that are kind of like a blueprint, you know, on how you can do this. Right.
Right.
So the whole concept of Sensei is more like mentor. It's not master. It's not.
No.
You know,
It's not master.
It's not somebody you worship. It's just
It's
like
teacher.
This dude did something and was, you know, effective, you know, in doing it, and I don't know any better way to do it that I've found so far. Therefore, I'm going to use this methodology.
Mm-hmm.
That's the rationale.
Right.
Right. And you know, your life needs to make sense, right? If your life doesn't make sense, you need to think about it, right? And try and get it into a place where it does make sense. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Is that all right? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back chant some more.
Okay.
All right, see you guys.
Enjoy.
Nice meeting you guys.
Hi, Papa. Bye, Papa. So that's my Buddhist dad. Leftovers? Oh, sushi made out of leftovers, right? Oh, hi, meditation. Long time no see, buddy. How you doing? Life needs to make sense. There needs to be reason, right? Yeah. Yay! He's really cool. Yep, I believe so. So, every once in a while in witchcraft, especially when it revolves around Christianity in some way, there are some things that don't make sense. Like the church dust, for instance. It's like a swimming pool on the roof sort of situation, right? King of thorough and extra made sushi last night, but didn't use all the salmon, so it got tucked and stored away safely in the fridge. I reheated rice and put the salmon on top. That's delicious. I am jealous of you. Jealous. There's no such thing as leftover sushi in this house. It's here. It's getting eaten. Yeah. You just made extra sushi. It's not so much. It is sushi made out of extras, out of leftovers. But it's basically just fresh sushi from yesterday's fish. Also an excellent breakfast. I agree. I agree. All right. From east to west. From the east, from the west, excuse me. Omens. Let there be lights in the firmaments of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them for the signs, and for seasons, and for days, and for years. This has led the folks to believe that just about anything and everything had its appointed time, whether it was a certain moon phase to cut your hair, or even the best day to get married. One mistake could result in death. With the case of an old saying, if a row of corn is unknowingly left unplanted, death will visit the family before the harvest. To prevent this, that last row must be planted before the other rows sprout from the ground, or before the first sunset after finding the unplanted row. Things are done based on what sign the moon was in, and each sign was associated with a body part, its government over man's affairs. He wildly underestimated how much we need. Oh, there were 6 of us and we prepped enough to make 60 rolls. 30 rolls per person. Maybe 20. But for the likes of me, 30 rolls for me. Right? So I order 60 rolls oftentimes for my husband and I. So yesterday I was working and I looked up and my bedroom window was covered in ants and flying ants. Ah! Like properly covered. Outside, inside, curtains, panes, the works. Then an hour later, they all just disappeared. Also, eek. You sound like you need some wards. Sounds like you need some wards. Bug migration. So happy they left. Yeah. Did not need to be in the house. Did not need to be on the house. Did not need the things. Yeesh. So now I'm sitting here wondering, given that it's so close to Beltane. Oh, it's close to Beltane where you are? Is there something I need to be thinking about? Is this a message? Oh, hi, LR. I would take it as a message. I don't have my Book of Shadows with me, but there is, Beltane in the Southern Hemisphere. Because we're coming up on Samhain, yeah. I don't know about you, but I often get visited by bugs and fae, and I see the most fae during Beltane. However, not all fae are kind. I have to warn you. So I would provide an offering and like milk or apples or something like that on your back porch, and then dispose of the stuff in the woods. And then set up wards. I would be setting up wards. So might have something making its way downtown. Yeah. I just got a call from my cousin. Hello. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I was planning on making oat cakes and putting a little whiskey out. That's smart. Mm-hmm. That is wise. I'm trying to think what else I would do. I would probably set up a guardian. I would sanctify your house and possibly do a witch's bottle. I wish I lived near you. Like, I would just be like, here's a bunch of stuff. Put it here, here, and here. Wish I would help. I wish I could help you in that regard. All I can do is basically be like, this is how you make a witch's bottle. This is how you sanctify your house. This is how you... Given that we also had a snake to come by in the house last week. Yeah. Which also could have been fae. But usually fae look for an opening, and how do I put this? I am very protective over my home, and even within my home, I have one guardian in the bedroom, and I will probably have another guardian in the blanket fort. I had intention of spending Samhain making a guardian for the blanket fort. But I'm here, so that didn't happen. Rosemary and lavender to burn over the weekend. The oatcakes and whiskey, I'll be salting the doors and windows. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably smart. It's a good step. I can also recommend Florida water, since you're coming up on Beltane, right? Flowers should be coming in bloom. If flowers are not a thing, let me know. Oh yeah, set intention with the cakes as you're making them. Yeah. We knew what you meant. And I can make a sigil that would protect your home from those who would wish you harm. What kind of snake was it that came into your house? Was it just like a garden snake? I am curious of the things. I'm curious of things. Okay, so setting out. All right. This is talking about. Oh my gosh. I might skip this. It's like when to shear your sheep, when the moon is full, or hunt deer when the sign is in Virgo. Wacky shit like that. The knees ache most when the sign is in Capricorn. You're more likely to get a sore throat when the moon is in the sign of Taurus, because the throat is the sign, the body sign of Taurus. Finally, one more piece of advice for good measure. Never tell secrets or have flirtatious affairs during the sign of Scorpio, or your secrets may well be exposed. We also pay attention to the direction of the wind and its effects as it blows from a particular direction. If you sow seeds while the wind is blowing from the north or northeast, they won't sprout at all. And if they do, they will be vulnerable to being fried by the sun. If you sow seeds when the wind is in the east, bugs will destroy the yield. Oh, it's just a slug eater. So salt is good because that will keep the slugs out of your house. And those that eat slugs will also not come into your house looking for slugs. I don't think you're super behind. I have a question to the group. I have been intensely missing my dad, who passed away 4 years ago. Any thoughts as to why now? And why so intense? If you did not grieve properly when it initially happened, and a lot of us don't, sometimes it kicks in way later. It took about 6 years for me to properly mourn my brother. Moon Bunny, yeah. Sage is like, I'm a Scorpio, I'm all secrets and flirtations. I would do something to honor your dad. Like, set a place for him at the table and talk to him, like, as though he were there. probably hears you. If he doesn't, then he's probably on his way to a new life. We have puff adders and wrinkles, which are both super venomous, yeah. So Samhain, the veil is the thinnest, and the full moon, it's a full moon during Samhain this year. So it's the 30th through the 2nd is a full moon. And it's a harvest moon, from what I understand. So, like another harvest moon. So, so it's going to be potent, is what I'm trying to say. Is that I think a lot of people are gonna, a lot of people who have passed on are going to be coming back and trying to make contact. I did, I thought. But that could be the election that was happening so... Yeah, the election is also a big deal. And the denial stage is a hell of a drug, yeah. So yeah, some food and drink that maybe your dad would have liked. And when you go to dispose of the food, yeah, don't eat it. Don't eat it. When you go to dispose of the food, either take it to a stream and put it down, downstream and walk away from it and don't look back. Or you can go to a crossroads, any intersection works, and drop the food off there. So like a paper plate maybe. Again, walk away from it, don't look back. And you live at a crossroads. Don't worry, I think I'm back. Am I back? My internet kind of flickers sometimes. Near a creek and a crossroads. So you have your choice. Either one works. And I would also say, if you can, light some incense for him. So, and in a scent that maybe he would have liked, like, do tobacco smoke or dragon's blood is potent. That just adds to the full moonness of it all and just adds a little kerosene onto the fire to make it easier for him to come. Maybe play some music that he would have liked, stuff like that. Yeah, Fiesta de los Muertos is a party where basically they welcome their families back to the land of the living. And hi. Is he in the bathroom? No. So the Day of the Dead is a big Mexican holiday, and it celebrates the dead. It's not a morose day. They have parades, and they have like altars all over the place. Some cemeteries are a really popular place to be. And he was a decaf coffee guy all the way. Right on. I have been subscribing to the theory of energy can be never be created or destroyed. It just moves from one form to another. Yep. But not feeling like it is my dad's energy was going to stick around. So it's not necessarily that he's sticking around. It's that he might be trying to just make contact with you because he can. Also, Coco is an excellent example of the Day of the Dead. Absolutely. There's still some time to make an ofrenda if that speaks to you, Turtle. Yeah. Honor your ancestors. It's a great time for it. So between the full moon and any other regents that you might use, ingredients that you might use for summoning your dad, basically, it's a great opportunity to get some things off your chest and maybe get some closure. I know closure is hard, but sometimes we gotta make do, you know. Sometimes we gotta make do. But yeah, Coco is an excellent example of the Day of the Dead on how it's like celebrated on Earth. Like the colors, the lights, the parties, the flowers, I do have to make a note that candy skulls are misused a lot. Yes, they're beautiful, but they represent the children who have died. So it is inappropriate for an adult to wear children's masks, basically. I mean, I guess you could, but it's bad taste. I think it's bad taste. Oh, it's 11:04. We have officially been talking for an hour. We made it a couple of pages in the book. How are you guys feeling? Are there any other questions? But wouldn't it still be about celebrating them? Yeah, absolutely. That's the whole point, right? It's like, so I've been wanting to do looking at witch bottles and the like, and I don't want to do the urine thing. You can use vinegar in its stead, or rum. You can use either rum or vinegar, just white vinegar. Great substitute. Yeah. Nails, a sigil, some rocks like tourmaline and amethyst and amethyst and or citrine. You can use both if you want. They're kind of the same rock. It's just one was oxygenated and one wasn't. I learned that recently. Seal it with the color of wax. I would use black in this case. Choosing to cherry pick bits and pieces of another culture's beliefs contributes to cultural appropriation. I think I'm just going to have a nice chat with him, and his favorite food seems appropriate. Also his favorite smells and maybe some music. Yeah. So it does contribute to cultural appropriation, but you know what? If it works, it works. Witches bottles are like, especially when it comes to warding, it shares a lot of commonality with Hodun, hoodoo, voodoo, whatever you want to call it. And I think the next book that I read is going to have sugar skulls. Oh, sugar skulls specifically, yeah. Oh, I must have missed it. Wouldn't it still be about celebrating them? It's inappropriate to put it on yourself, but if you put it on something else, then like you have a string of them in a garland, or you draw them on wood, or you can paint them on your children if you really want. But I feel like it would be inappropriate for an adult to wear a sugar skull. And anytime. I should be wrapping up. I have a lot of writing to do. And sugar skulls, grown women wearing sugar skulls often scream cultural appropriation to me. It's like bastardizing something sacred. Kind of like if I had to equate it to something like a gaijin wearing a kimono-inspired mini dress, and with that like full of tits and full of ass and full of legs. The whole point of the kimono is it's kind of like the corset of the Japanese world, and it's revered as it was beautiful to be modest, is what I'm gonna say. That is, I don't have a black candle. White works if you have white. Do you have any white wax? I wish we could view witchcraft as more of a melting pot, but I do understand the cultural appropriation issue. My witchcraft is a melting pot, absolutely. But I try to treat the cultures that I pull from with respect. Like if someone is using a crucifix to open their beer, which they exist. That's a thing. So here's how I think of it. If the culture that's being borrowed from was colonized or oppressed by the culture doing the borrowing, it's cultural appropriation. Hold on. Okay. Just needed to stand up for a minute. I gotta use the restroom. If you're going to take something from another, I gotta use the restroom. I really do. look how many people stick around. That's awesome. All right, let's see. Where did I leave off? Yeah, white candles are universal. So vinegar can replace urine. White candles can replace anything. Tobacco can work for poison. I have like a whole list of like alterations that you can make that are a lot easier to accomplish. Maybe you could also set some stones around the candle to give it more power. Stones being amethyst, maybe? I learned so much from these streams. Okay, good. I definitely have white candles. I think every South African household does, given the propensity for power outages. Yeah. I don't have stones or crystals or much of anything. I haven't practiced in more than a decade, and I still have. And what little I still have in storage is in another town. Yeah. Then I will just take a few items that mean something to me, to whatever spell you're trying to create. This is utter truth. You technically can cast spells without any ingredients. I like ingredients, but I don't need them. I just feel like it's just a little extra oomph. Intention. Absolutely. Even good intentions can lead to bad results. That is true, which is why your intention needs to be clear and concise, and put in such a way that it can't be turned against you. Would anybody be interested in meeting over Zoom to read their work aloud and talk about it? Yeah, sure. I'm in. I hear the road to hell is paved with good intentions, yeah. Simplifying the craft, yeah. Sometimes my shit is complex, but most of the time, that shit's pretty normal. I think I've hijacked the stream enough. Oh, okay. Yeah. I've been around the block a few times, but thank you. Yeah. I just read a lot of books. And I've been doing this a long time. Yeah. For what it's worth, you're fine. But feel free to DM me or Nicole or whoever with the love. But intention is key, really. I have a couple of things I want to work on, so if we get into them now, we'll be here all until sleepover. Yeah, DM me. We can call. I am interested to be of help. Of course, I'll help my friend. Absolutely. All right. We are coming up on 11:30. I really should can this stream. But we will be hanging out in the Discord. Speaking of which, Discord server address, all you got to do is click it. I might not need to. Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm just honored that you guys actually want to hear what I say. Writing discussion group. Great. You can find me on Discord. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram. So any way that you want to contact me regarding like Zoom calls and stuff like that, or we can be like audiobooks forever. Yay. Have a great day. Love you guys.